Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live. I'm Iggy Garcia, of course. Who else would it be, right? Other than myself. Hopefully you can stay with me here for the next 60 minutes or so. I'm going to be talking a little bit about just what's been going on in my life, what's been going on around the world, and how I'm interpreting things and how I see things. And, just want to say, hey, what's up to everybody who's popping in, saying hi. So what we're going to do is we're going to light a little sage here, burn a little sage, and kind of clear the space, make the area nice and cleansing. So welcome everybody. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about a lot of things, and I will do my best to answer them in the best form, the best way I know. So let's cleanse this space. Purification, cleansing. Just get into that zone, get into that place. So we're also going to light a candle. Like every show, we light a candle, giving thanks to the people who come before us, giving thanks to our ancestors, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, great-grandpa, all just everybody who was, who blazed the path for us. We're here because of a lot of work, a lot of intuition, and, a lot of extracurricular activity got us here. So that's why we're here too. So a lot of sex. I guess that's what a better way than say it, right? So I just want to thank everybody for who's been in my life, and all the people who have been part of my development. I want to give them thanks today, so I want to honor that as well. So I hope everybody's been doing okay. This is episode 121 and of Iggy Garcia Live. We're going to try to cover some things a little bit. I know there's a lot going on in the world, and sometimes we feel like there's a lot happening to us. A lot of things are going on with us personally, not just things around us. But it's been a strange year, and it's almost over. 2020 is almost over. So what happens next? Who knows? We never saw the virus coming and all the things that came with that. And so here we go. We're on our journey. We're going to be riding it through. We have, today's the 3rd, right? So we're working our way out of this year into the new year. And so, last year, I remember, most of you can remember last year, it was probably one of those things that, you were doing whatever you were doing, celebrating whatever you were celebrating, preparing whatever you were preparing, and then everything was going along just like you usually do. You're preparing, you're getting your ducks in a row, and your your New Year's resolutions and everything, getting them all ready and getting them all lined up, getting them into a space and a place where you want to move through. So, and now, then all of a sudden we get through January, February, and then things seem to be going pretty good to some degree, right? I mean, I had a lot of plans. I know you had plans, and then all of a sudden, boom, in March, everything just went berserko crazy. Everything just went nuts. The way that we lived our lives, uncertainty, everything just flipped and went upside down, and all of a sudden, everything that we knew was completely different. Even how we had friendships and relationships with people, how we hung out with them, and how we engaged with people, and how we engaged with the people, that we were stuck with, or, imprisoned with, or or blessed with, whatever you want to call it, whatever that is for you. We all got to experience different lifestyles and different routines with people. Sorry, my head thing's messing up a little bit. It looks kind of funny in the. But we all ended up having this lockdown where we're all kind of working through whatever we're working through and whatever we had to work through in order to survive, basically, to stay alive. And for many of us, we didn't know what was happening and what was going on and what was in front of us or behind us or next to us. And for many of us, we went through this whole year pretty good, nothing problems, no nothing, no feelings, no nothing. But then, little by little, it all starts to daunt on you a little bit. It all starts to get a little bit crazy. It starts to get a little bit stir crazy. It starts to get a little bit heavy. It starts to get a little bit frustrating, It starts to get to that place where you're not sure about anything really, And, the routines that you're in got changed. And like I said, all the things that you're accustomed to were no longer the same. You weren't able to do the things you wanted to do or just go wherever you wanted to go. Some of us did. Some of us ventured out. And, some of us are still here. Some of us are not sick at all. Some of us have been very sick. And some of us have friends who are deathly ill right now, who are very, compromised with this COVID virus. And, I mean, friends, family, nobody's immune from this. My uncle Jorge, as we call him Coco, he's in ICU in Peru. He's in intensive care. And, he's in really bad shape from what I understand. Don't know too much about it. My friend Samir here, he's in Cincinnati. And his wife Willow travels and visits. And, he's still coming out of it. He's still recovering. And it's taking time for him to, get back into any sense of normalcy. And, we have to kind of just weigh this out because, for a lot of us, some of us don't believe that this even exists, that this is just a very, the flu or whatever. I'm not here to debate you or get in an argument with you about if COVID is real or not real. Something's real. COVID's real, and whatever it is, I don't even think, honestly, truthfully, I don't even think these doctors know what it is. Nobody could have seen this coming. I mean, I don't care if you knew it was coming. There was nothing you could really possibly do except for what we're doing now. Mask up, stay quarantined, stay in the shallows. But, everywhere you go, it's a different story. You can go to Florida, and they don't have masks or nothing, and, they're having whatever issues, and people are fine. You come to Ohio, everybody's masked up. It's cold, and we're having like the highest rates of COVID. And I'm not to say, if that's true or not true. I don't know. I have to trust that what my government's telling me is true, and what the statistics are being played out in front of me, if they are. But and now we have this vaccine, fast-track vaccine that's coming out. And for some of you, I'm sure that some of you will take this vaccine because you feel like it's safe and you trust the people who are making it, whatever. Honestly, I'm not going to take it for a long time personally. This is just my personal preference and opinion because I'm just going to wait it out a little bit, just see how it plays out with everybody else. The military is going to be your first set of guinea pigs. Your first set of people who are going to be taking the vaccine. They have to by mandate. They all have to take it, and they're going to be the test cases for us. And it's not because of insurance or whatever. This is something that has to happen. And our the next group is the frontline people, right? Your doctors, your nurses, and people who aren't totally engulfed in enveloped into this stuff. They're going to be the next group that takes it. And then I'm sure the next group will be. But I heard a statistic the other day that I thought was very interesting, that the kids get COVID too, but not as much as adults do. Adults actually get sicker, and they have been found to. I don't know if it's just something that maybe because you're young, you're healthy, your immune system's different. I don't know. I mean, there's just so much information out there that you just don't know sometimes what to listen to or to even understand what it is and what we should do. I know that there's a lot of fear behind it, and fearfully so. There are some things because we don't understand what we're up against. What we're up against. We're up against something that we can't see, number one. And so we have to go, okay, we can't see it. So it must not be real. You know, it's like saying, well, God exists, but we don't see God, right? Well, the viruses, we don't see it because it's microscopic, but it's there, right? And it affects our system, and it works in our bodies, and it attacks everybody differently. Hopefully we're moving into the right direction where we're all going to be able to move out of this energy, because this energy is like really stifling. This energy is really can be very conducive to a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. Okay, so right now what's happening is a lot of people are going through a lot of emotional stress over what's happening. You know, post-traumatic stress disorders is huge in some states, if not all of them, where people feel very stressed out. And it's a post-traumatic stress disorder is happening where people are afraid to leave their house, or afraid to step out of their bubbles, and afraid to step out into anywhere. When rightfully so, people are getting sick. Now, one day, maybe the truth will come out, what it was, what happened, how we survived, how we moved through. But, right now, there's a lot of people who are creating a lot of negative energy about it. There's a lot of people creating a lot of anger and frustration. And, there's a lot of judgment going on. A lot of people parenting and judging others because they think differently or they feel differently. Right now, the best thing we can do is just try to stay focused and try to stay where we need to be. Because if we don't, we're going to find ourselves very quickly in this mental game with ourselves, especially us, how we're going to feel and what's going on in the situation that's around us. Because the world right now, especially in the U.S., can't even think about the world right now, but in the U.S. right now, there's a lot of things happening, and especially in our state here in Ohio, and especially in Franklin County. We're on the purple now because it's more than red. So it makes me wonder sometimes if, what's going on. I haven't heard so much about the flu. I haven't heard if the flu's mutated. There's just so much stuff. But some of you have been asking me questions about enlightenment, awakening, and you're feeling all kinds of different energies that are moving and coursing through your body. There's things that you're feeling. You're more intuitive. You're tapped in, and you feel like you're feeling the energy more closely than you probably ever have. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot going on right now, especially we're in a huge shift. This huge shift is about changing perception, changing energy, changing everything that we used to be and once was will no longer be. Okay? So whatever energy we were in before, this old 3D energy is changing right now. Okay? Excuse me. So right now what's happening is a lot of people are starting to energetically shift because you've been forced to shift. You've been forced to think outside the paradigm. You've been forced to think about fearful things. You've been forced to think about death. You've been forced about thinking about living. You've been forced about thinking how you want to live your life differently. You've been forced to move into an energy that puts you in an uncomfortable zone. Okay, so right now we are all in a place where we will either move and flow with the energy, or it's going to flood us and knock us around. It's like a tide. It's going to be like a wave. Like a wave knocks you over. You're going to get knocked around until you finally learn how to coast and ride the wave. Okay? Now, this is very scary times. And I understand people are very scared and very frustrated. And they don't know what to believe to some degree. Sometimes I don't know what to believe. Sometimes I want to believe this and I want to believe that. And sometimes I don't even trust the experts, man, because you know what? Truthfully, not that they don't have anything to gain or lose or whatever. I just don't think they know as much as they think they do. Okay? I know sometimes I think I know a lot of stuff and I really don't know nothing. I don't know a damn thing. So, because the information changes so quickly and so fast, it's like, okay, so what's happening? What's going on? Everybody wants an answer. Okay, everybody wants a fall guy. Well, let me tell you, we should be past that point about Fall Guys right now. The only thing we should be worried right now is how we're going to make it, how we're going to survive, and where we're going to go from here. Then we can come back and address the things that we need to address. Right now, we need to figure out how do we need to stay safe, how do we need to stay humble, how we need to figure out how to help our fellow men and women. Okay, because, things have been asked of us to cooperate. And so, are we going to cooperate? Well, that's really up to you. I can't tell you to cooperate or not cooperate. But cooperation is important. But also, we're in a moment where, there's a lot of magical things that are happening in the universe. There's asteroids, comets. There's Saturn and Jupiter aligning on the 21st, on the solstice. These are energy. These things have energetic charges and pulls. These are things that will physically affect you, spiritually and mentally. To think that something that hasn't happened for 800 years is going to occur, that's a miracle. That's something, is very amazing. But we can't get past some of these things because we're so inundated with the information, that people are dying. There's death. Death has been thrown in our face. Now, there's metaphoric deaths too. There's a lot of things that happen where we metaphorically die. We change and we shift and we move out of the energies that we're in. Okay, so you're going to be very, very enlightened. You're going to be very in tune with things that you probably were never in tune with before. Because right now, your thinking parameters are different. Okay? The brain circuitry is changing so much in your head that you have to really be cognitive and aware, okay, of what's happening in there. You must be aware in your head how you're going to receive the information that you're receiving, okay, because the information is super important, okay. Everything that we're listening to and everything that we're taking in is being logged into our brain. Okay, everything, good and bad, everything in there. Everything, from the news to the person telling you that you voted for Trump or you voted for Biden, all that stuff's being programmed inside our head. So we have to be careful how we receive information right now, because the information can be embedded, and so it's going to take time for us to reprogram, reshift that stuff that's in there that doesn't serve us. And so, the biggest thing is you're going to have to make the call for yourself. What's going to be right for you? Unless if it's a forced vaccine on you, then that kind of makes you wonder, well, why? You should be able to give the option, right? To take it or not take it. And so, as of right now, I think you can take it or not take it. I'm assuming so. I haven't heard anything different. But I'm only here to tell you, do the research, study it, and find out what you feel is best for you. Okay, because I know some people can't take the vaccine because they're allergic to some of the components in it. So, what do you do, right? How do you move through that? I don't know. Not sure, but me personally, I probably won't take it. I've gotten this far without taking it. And so, I consider myself very fortunate. Can't say that I could change in the next day or two or year or whatever. But right now, I'm just going to watch as everybody else runs off to do it and take it and do whatever they want to do. And, just kind of be an observer. Observe from the distance and say, okay, it looks like everybody's doing pretty good. There are people who take the regular flu vaccine and get sick very quickly and very fast. And I'm sure there's some people who don't make it. And I'm sure there's going to be casualties of war, and no matter what you do. So it doesn't really matter, right? You can't tell me that these things are 100% safe. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I will never believe that. Because every human being is completely different from the next human being. And all these components, they affect everybody completely different. If your friend's a microbiologist, fine, no problem. But every human being responds and reacts differently because of mental state, physical state, and all that kinds of things. And so, if we move into this space and you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. I think we should be given the option. I don't think we should be put into a fearful moment, a fearful place that we have to. I think if we wear our masks, do our part, participate. But there are people who wear masks, wash their clothes, clean their things, and still get COVID. And there are other people who don't do a damn thing, and they're walking around doing just fine. And the thing is, this is something that this is kind of like a blessing in some degree. Okay, so got to follow me here. None of us have really been in a pandemic situation. The last one was 100 years ago, maybe. So for us to be in this moment in time where we have a lot of self-reflection, a lot of isolation, a lot of me time, okay? And so a lot of me time is important because, the thing is, we're in a place where now we get to make a lot of decisions that we probably didn't have to make before, about our health, about our mental health, our spiritual health, how we perceive other people, how we judge other people, how we look at the world in general. I've heard it all. I've heard people say that China launched a microbiology bomb on us because they're at war with us. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not here to discount that. This is the things that I hear. Okay, trust me. I hear a lot of things from a lot of people because people send me stuff. And you have to sift through it, and you have to go with what you feel is right. But I don't know. Some people really get upset with other people because they won't take the virus, the vaccine, or they won't wear a mask or whatever. The only thing you can do is what you can do, what part you can do. And if that's what you want to do, participate in that way by wearing a mask, then wear it. I wear my mask. I wear my mask because I figured it doesn't bother me. It ain't going to be that big a deal. Plus, it gives me a better chance, fine, that I'm not coughing or someone's not coughing on me, vice versa. Either way, I wear it in public. I don't usually wear it at home. I'm not wearing it right now. But, this is a new thing for everybody. This is a new thing for all of us. This is something for us to learn from. This is a good opportunity for all of us to just say, hey, what am I going to do different? What am I going to do? What happens next? Where do I go from here? Where do I move from this space? 2020. Even though we're going to move into 21, doesn't mean that we're going to automatically, the virus is just going to disappear. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But the thing is this. We're in it now. We're in the thick of it, and we got to figure out how we're going to survive it and how we're going to participate in it. And there ain't no Joe Biden and there ain't no Trump that are going to save your life, okay? The only people going to save your life is yourself by making the right decisions for yourself, okay? And like I said, you want to take the vaccine to combat the virus, then do it. If you don't want to take it, you want to take your chances, then don't do it. I'm kind of going down that road. At this moment, I'm not going to take it. Not because I don't want to. It's because I don't trust the system in this moment in time. It's too fast. It's too quick. It's too divided, especially by medical professionals. It's too divided for me. One group's saying nay, one group saying yay, and they're putting a lot of credibility on people and discrediting other people. They're attacking their own kind, their own doctors, discrediting each other. So, like I said, when Dr. Fauci takes the shot on TV and he puts a camera on himself for 30 days and we watch his results and he makes it, yeah, maybe I'll do it. That's just my mind. That's where the mind of Iggy goes, That's kind of where I'm at. You want people to take it, then you take it. You want people to be follow line step and whatever they call it, then do it. Regardless. But on the other hand, the virus is also the situation of the virus, let's put it that way. Not the virus. Has gotten us to think about a lot of things. has got us in a place to think about, you know, how valuable life is, how important life is, and what it means to have people in your life that matter to you, and what it means for them to be with you and not be expired too quickly. You know, you start to realize how important people are in your life and what they meant to you. If you haven't gotten to that place, I really don't know. I can't really explain why maybe you're not feeling that way. But I know the people who are in my life, you know, many of you guys are on here, have come to a place where I see you differently, you know, and I appreciate you differently. And for some people, the relationships have kind of shifted and not necessarily severed. They just taken a different twist and a different road. They've gone a different way. And you know, people who I probably didn't really talk to before or didn't really engage, I'm talking more with them, and the people that I had a lot of communication with, not talking with them too much. And I don't know why that is. It just is. And it happens, especially when a situation, especially when you have to be away from people for long periods of time. Your thinking starts to change, your feelings start to change, your emotions start to change, and your perceptions on life start to change. You start to see life a little bit differently. You start to feel things a little differently. None of us are anything what we were on January 1st, 2020. I really believe that we've all shifted at many levels that maybe we just don't notice because we're so in our space that until we actually come out of it, we will actually see those changes. Some of you are really frustrated. Some of you are very angry. Some of you are very happy and very joyful. And some of you are indifferent and don't care and can care less. And you know, sometimes I fall in all those categories on different days. And I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes I just don't feel like who I projected myself, how I created myself, how I looked at myself, and how I believe myself was. I have also shifted. You've shifted. We've all shifted. Now the question is, how do we shift into the energies that are positive, things that are or of light, things that are good? First, understand that you have to still embrace your shadow aspects of you, who you are. When you're angry, you're angry. You're pissed off, you're pissed off. You are a human being. First and foremost, you are human. You have a myriad of emotions that you run each and every day. Every day you're either happy, sad, indifferent, or all of the above all at the same time, or in between and part of that. You're going to have this roller coaster right now. You're going to have this roller coaster ride because you don't feel good, you're fatigued. But you know what? The biggest thing is to trust yourself, trust and believe that you can pull yourself out of it. You know, that's why it's important to find a good group of people, or 1, 2, 3 people that they're in alignment with you to some degree, where they can help you pull you out. Because, you know, I can tell you, my friends, sometimes, you know, I get these blues out of nowhere, and I usually not like that. You know, I can talk to some of my friends and say, hey, you know, I just don't feel good today. I don't know. They say, what's wrong? I don't know. Nothing's really wrong. I just don't feel like I usually feel. I'm just not feeling it. And, you know, I feel more of that lately. And I think most of it is because I find myself in this somewhat of isolation. Even when I'm working, you know, there's a sense of isolation where it's just not, I just don't feel like myself. So, yes, during the solstice, we're going to have a very amazing event play out. This event happens every 800 years, where Saturn and Jupiter kind of align. I mean, not necessarily in line, but they kind of like come to this point where they create this like star effect, which they call it the Christmas star, which I call the Star of Bethlehem. And this star, and I really believe this, and I don't know why I believe this, but I really believe that another great sage is going to pop into our world. Kind of like, it's like the Star of Bethlehem, you know, when Jesus came in, you know, the three wise men followed the star, you know, kind of has that feel. And I've been feeling this about that star, you know, about that event playing out, that there's going to be this great sage that's going to be born here, coming into this solstice event. I really energetically, emotionally, intuitively feel this. I just feel like we're going to have a huge awakening, or this light is going to step into the world. It's just going to shine on multiple people, not just one person, multiple people who will change the world in ways that we have never even seen them, or even know it's even possible to see the world that way. And I mean in a good way. We've had enough darkness, and I think it's time for light to come in and not burn the shadow, but dim it down a little bit and challenge it. And this will happen in our lifetime. We'll be able to experience this. We'll see this. This will be happening. So for us, we've had multiple events where planets have lined up and things, and if you've been paying attention, you know that this is what's going on. So right now, I'm really excited about, you know, December 21st, the solstice, because the world is supposed to have a green haze to it, according to some people who study this stuff. There's supposed to be like a, what is it, the Northern Lights, you know, where they have the lights that are kind of waving green. Supposedly we're supposed to have some kind of like a mist of green. There was like a mist of red several years ago where it came into this planet. So we'll see what happens, you know. I'm excited about the potentials of things that are going to happen, where we're moving and where we're going to go, because we really need to have some good stuff happen. And I think if we start, as humanity starts to move in the right direction, to embrace each other and honor each other and say, hey, you know, we need to get through this together. We need to work together to get into a better place. You know, we can shift and change things. You know, because right now there's so much uncertainty in the world, and the world doesn't even know to turn left or right, and it's trying to do the same things that it used to do, and it's just not working. You know, whatever we think that we were doing before is going to be able to come back. It's not going to come back, I don't think, in the same capacity that we thought it was going to be. It's just not possible. It's not conducive to our growth. And right now, I think a lot of people are coming to a place where, you know, they're finding their spirituality, or they're leaving their spirituality. There's a lot of shifting. And, you know, shifting's not a bad thing. Shifting's not bad. It just means you're stepping into one energy into another, leaving something that doesn't serve you, moving to new energy that will serve you. And you're probably going to do this multiple times throughout this next year or two. Yeah, and I did say this next year or two because it's a growth thing. It's something that happens very quickly. But it, you know, we're relative humans. We think about time, and we get stuck on the numbers. 1 year, 2 years is nothing in the scheme of the universe. So the universe is giving us some amazing things to look at, some amazing things to embrace, some amazing things to think about. Now, as human beings, we're able to either work together or not work together. The things don't change, they just become more amplified. They become more amplified, and now we're in this place where, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, take a deep breath. Just relax for a minute. We all need to relax for a minute. Just take a break. Because we can get consumed by everything that's just around us right now. You know, don't even think about the virus. Don't even think about the vaccines. Think about how you can contribute to the earth, how you can contribute to life. What would you do? What would you tell your child about this world? What the possibilities are? How we can change it? How we can make it better? Because it doesn't have to be negative. And if you don't have children, you may have nieces and nephews. And if you don't have nieces and nephews, you might know the little kid down the block who just needs encouragement. Right now, we need to encourage each other to do better. Because it's easy to destroy and to put down and to make people feel unworthy. Because we feel unworthy sometimes. But when we feel positive, we feel empowered, the things that we can do are amazing. Things don't change. Positive affirmations and reinforcements don't change, even in the time of a pandemic or a time of, uncertainty. We can still build and trust and create the things that we need to create for ourselves. You have to believe that things get better. You have to have faith. The faith is deep inside the core of yourself, in your heart, in your gut, right here, in this other brain, your heart brain, right there. You have to believe that life gets better. Because it does. Because we make a choice to make it better. When we make that choice and that decision to make life better, things shift, things change. When we believe that things will be much different, they will be much different. Because we're expecting it to be different. Anytime you want to be awakened, anytime you want to be enlightened, you're asking for different. You're asking for something different from the universe. You're asking the universe to give you something that you don't have right now, or that you're not aware of or conducively in flow with. So right now you have to figure out exactly what you would like to happen to you. Yeah, you probably heard this 100 times, but it does work, and it does happen. If you can create the uncertainty in your life, you can also create certainty in your life. But it takes work. It's like anything you do. It takes work, it takes time, and you have to have belief, and you have to have trust that it will happen. Because if you don't trust the process, then it's very difficult for it to manifest and create. So a lot of us are moving into the next year, and a lot of us always believe that 2021 is going to be a better year because we're already manifesting that that's going to be how it's going to be. Because 2020 was such a disaster for some of us, and such a pain in the ass, and such a mixed bag of emotions and feelings, that it has to get better. We're down on our lowest point, right? So it can only go up, right? So for me, 2021 is going to be better, just because the sheer fact that it's a new year, it's a new environment, new thoughts, new creations. Nothing that I haven't thought about today. It's just the numbers game. When we see visuals and when we see symbols and we see things that move us into that direction, we start to change our thinking. So if you want to change your thinking, then you have to start thinking that things get better. But the only person who can change your thinking is yourself. Other people can encourage and influence you to feel a certain way, but you know what? In the end, you have to make that decision for yourself. You have to make that choice. Do I cross the bridge or don't cross the bridge? Do I stay in fear or don't stay in fear? Because if I stay in fear, I know what I get. If I cross the bridge, I don't know what I get, but it has to be better than what I already have. So, folks, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. The only thing I say is just do your best. Do your best to get yourself through these days. And the holidays, for some people, they're not fun. For some people, it's really difficult. But you make it whatever you want it to be. Yeah, so Christmas isn't going to be the Christmas you had last year or 5 years ago, whatever. Maybe this is a new Christmas. Maybe this is a new experience. Maybe this is a new Hanukkah. Maybe this is a new, whatever holiday you celebrate, Kwanzaa, whatever. Maybe it's a new way to express that holiday or that feeling or that emotion, what it really truly means to be an enlightened being, an enlightened spirit. Because remember, to be enlightened is also to understand that, like the old saying is, you carry water, chop wood, and you move up the hill and you come back. After enlightenment, you chop wood, carry water, and you keep doing the same thing. They're aha moments. There are moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. That's what enlightenment means. That's what awakening means. Understanding that there are these moments of bursts of energies that come into our life. Where you're just not, you're grounded and you're flying, you're grounded, you're flying, you're grounded, you're flying. Can you imagine if you were flying all the time and you're not grounded? You have no sense of stability. You won't know where you're at, right? And if you're always grounded down the ground and you don't know what it means to fly, it's the reverse. So it's a balance, it's a harmony, it's an ebb and flow of energy flowing through your body, flowing through your mind, flowing through your spirit, through your soul, and just ebbing and flowing, all that energy just working together, bringing it in. Right now, just being in that peaceful mind and just taking a deep breath can change where you move into the next direction. Just taking a deep breath. That could just change everything about where you want to be. Just relaxing, taking it easy. My friends, no one said life was going to be easy, but no one said it had to be hard either. Life is what we make it. Life is what we embrace. Life is what we bring into ourselves. Life is what we want to gather around us. Life is also what we let go. Life is what we release. Life is what we bring back in, embrace. Life is understanding that we'll be released and let go, that we'll be re-embraced and brought back in. It's a constant dance of love and energy. It's a constant dance with somebody else's thoughts versus your thoughts. It's a constant dance with yourself, the belief systems that you created, and all the things that are in your personal belief system. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Who you believe you think you are, how you perceive yourself, how you look at yourself in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, are you happy with what you see? What would you change? What would you do different? If you're happy with what you see, then don't worry about it. Keep moving forward in the direction you're moving. Now, if you're not happy with it, and you feel like you need to change something, then change it. But remember, it doesn't have to be drastic. It can be if you want it to be. But easy baby steps, little by little, moving forward. It's like when you cut yourself. The wound doesn't heal right away, right? It takes time. Little by little it goes away. You look at it for long periods of time. Then eventually you stop looking at it. And then eventually you look down and it's gone. Life is like that too. Life, in the scheme of things, is very short. And we understand that now from watching all the things that are around us and how quickly they can shift and change. And so I challenge you to look at life in a way that is embracing life, that is loving and caring. Because life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is to be experienced. Life is to be drumming, singing, dancing, driving, eating, talking, making love, hugging, kissing, all those things. Don't deprive yourself of that stuff. Embrace that stuff because it's important to you, important to us, important to me. Well, I guess that's about all I really have to say today. I don't have a whole lot more to share with you. I know we're in the last month of the year and we're moving forward very quickly. This year's actually gone slow and fast all at the same time. If that makes any sense to you, slow and fast, slow and fast. It feels like we were locked away and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, really quick. Summer's gone and fall came and then winter's here now and spring will be here before we know it. Because that's how it works. That's how it works. So I want to say thank you everybody for tuning in and being here with me. I want to say ho'oponopono, irisikwi, matakuyasin. It's good to be here. Aho, and all the things you're in alignment with, all the things that bring you love and joy. I hope that you got something out of this little segment that I shared with you today. I know that there's a lot of information, there's a lot of disinformation, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know what's going to happen in the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. We don't know anything. But we do know one thing, is we know how we want to feel and how we want to experience life. So I challenge you to experience life in the ways that you want to feel it and the way you want to embrace it. Because if you embrace it and you open your heart to it and you allow love to come into your heart and allow it to come in a way where you can own it, there's nothing that can change that. There's nothing that can move you. So try that. Try to be humble. Try to be peaceful. Try to be understanding in a time where it's difficult to be, because you see so much sadness, you see so much anger, so much frustration. Just take your time. Alright, my friends, I want you to be well. Have a good night's rest. Be good. I will talk to you soon. I will see you in the next episode of Iggy Garcia Live. This is episode 121. Okay, and moving along, and we will see you next time. Peace and love, and I will talk to you. We'll get a drum circle going here eventually. Right now, I just want to honor and respect the space and everybody and keep everybody safe. That's why I personally haven't done anything, because I just want to be able to know that when we do it, that we'll have relatively a safe space to do it in. Not saying you can't do it, but you know what? Think about others. That's what I've been doing, thinking about others too. We'll be doing more drum circles online. We'll do more virtual drum circles. That way you can drum along and just play with me. Alright guys, hopefully I answer some of your questions. And if I haven't, just send me a line, drop me a note, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Because sometimes sometimes we don't know what we're feeling until we're feeling it. So, alright, so I will see everybody soon. I'll talk to you. Be well. I will talk to you. Much love.